That's an excellent question. Thank you, Kate. As I say in my book, Bush's vision was an honorable vision, and I'm not pro-Bushy in any way, shape, or form, but it was honorable in the fact that he wanted to bring democracy, at least in principle, to the region. And that's an honorable and it's a decent thing to do. It's how they went about it that was very wrong. Democracy is not, one size fit all, you take it off the shelf and give it to anybody. It has to be molded and shaped according to the country that you're trying to democratize. Democracy in Egypt was going to be very different than democracy in Saudi Arabia. It's not, there are different cultures. You have to take into account the local customs, the local laws, the local traditions, and to expect Jeffersonian democracy to fit just as it has here in the United States, where, keep in mind that we're still finding our way here in terms of what a democracy is, and it's not a perfect society by any means, but as Winston Churchill said, democracy is the worst form of government except for everything else that has been tried, and I think that's very true. But so what needs to be done, to answer your question, is you have to work with the local leadership and the local people, not rush them. The Middle East operates on a very different time frame than we do. They look at time very differently than we do. We seem to think in 4-year increments, from presidential election to presidential election. They have all the time in the world. You look at Syria, that has been dealing with the United States since Richard Nixon was in the White House. When they don't like something, they retrench and they wait out the 4 years until there's a next president. And if that doesn't work, they'll wait out the next president, because they're not under pressure of changing governments as we are and trying to do everything within 4 years, which isn't even 4 years, because in just a few months from now, the Obama administration will go into re-election mode, and will forget everything, and will focus on getting him re-elected. So it's really, you're talking about 2.5 years of foreign policy, which is impossible to achieve.
Any other question?
Hi, Claude. You made really a very interesting comment about the Bush paradox, and I agree with you a lot about the problem with the Iraq War. Certainly looking back, it seems that it was a war not worth fighting. Too many lives lost, too much credibility damaged. And I wonder if you could talk a little bit about maybe the Obama paradox, where it seems that as optimistic as he is, and as much as he's trying to engage, optimism seems to really be on the decline. Even when we saw optimism in 2005 with Bush, we saw it last year with Obama, but now it seems that the Arab world is really pessimistic about its relations with the U.S., its future. Are there any places to be optimistic?
I like to compare the Middle East and Obama to what a lady in South Florida said shortly after his election, that she said, "Great, Obama won, I don't have to worry about my mortgage anymore." Well, guess what, lady? You still have to worry about your mortgage. And a lot of the mentality in the Middle East was Obama will fix everything. Well, guess what? He's not going to be able to fix anything unless you help him fix it. 101 conflict resolution tells you, you listen to what people have to say and then you work with them. You don't impose your will, as Bush tried to do, on the rest of the region. So with all the best of intentions that Obama has, with all the positive energy that he brought to the White House, I think at the end of the day, he's going to fail unless the people concerned in the Middle East work with him. Now, before that can happen, two things need to happen in the Middle East before that we can move towards a peaceful solution. First is the Arabs need to understand, and really understand, which I don't think they do at this point, the needs, Israel's security needs. Israel's foreign policy, Israel's defense policy functions on rests on two major events that happen in the world. One is Masada, and the other one is the Holocaust. Masada, for those of you who might not be familiar with it, happened in the year 90, when a group of 910 zealots were surrounded in a fortress called Masada near the Dead Sea by the Roman legions, and rather than surrender, when they knew the women would be sold into prostitution and the men killed, they committed mass suicide. New recruits in the Israeli army to this day take an oath in front of Masada saying Masada will never fall again. And of course, the Holocaust, we all know what that is. Until the Arabs can understand that psyche, I don't think peace will be possible. And every time you have someone like Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, who comes out with a statement saying we're going to fire nuclear weapons at Israel, or Israel needs to be destroyed, or whatever he says, just amplifies that psyche of Masada and the Holocaust. So that needs to be, I think that's the first step, is understand the fears of the other side. And on the other hand, the Israelis need to understand the need for the Palestinians to be treated with dignity and respect, and the fact that they do need a home that is one contiguous state and not Bantustans. And until these two things happen, I think we're just whistling in the wind.
My name is John Gardenier. I am a retired statistician and scientist. And in that role, I like numbers. I like accurate numbers. And I am horrified that I don't see anybody outside a very small clique in the scientific world trying to estimate accurate numbers of the quantitative impact on Iraqi civilians of the Iraq War. There are the official estimates, which are, somewhere between 45 and maybe 65,000 killed. Any scientist who looks at the situation says the best way to get a good estimate is to take the official estimate and multiply by 10. But there's a lot of uncertainty around it. Then refugees, we know that there have been about 5 million Iraqi refugees between those displaced out of country and those displaced in country. The economic and cultural hardship imposed by that is devastating, at least on the people directly affected. I wonder to what extent the Iraqis and the rest of the Arab world have any sense of this quantitative impact and how that may condition their view of the Bush years and the U.S. going forward.
Thank you for your question. Let me first state one thing on the numbers. There is a website, I don't know if you're familiar with it, called IraqiBodyCount.com.
No, thank you.
It's run by a London-based NGO that has they've put together the numbers based on actual bodies seen in the morgues in Iraq. And I don't want to quote you a figure because I forget, but it's 150,000 or even more. It's a huge number. IraqiBodyCount.com or maybe .org. I don't remember, but it's the most accurate figures that I've seen, and those are they've double-checked every figure. So they have a low estimate and a moderate estimate. They haven't gone for the high estimate, but have a look at it. I think you'll find it very interesting. As to what the Iraqis think, that's very difficult to say, and it varies from region to region. As I said earlier, the Kurds have welcomed the intervention because it has allowed them to move away from Saddam's regime. They look at Bush as a hero, whereas the Sunnis and the Shiites see it very differently, especially the Sunnis, who were the dominant power in Iraq. So it varies from region to region. You're going to get different answers depending on who you speak to.
Thank you very much for your talk. The Obama administration has received some criticism because much of the national security leadership we see in this administration resembles that we saw in the Bush administration. Do you think this will ultimately affect the policies we see coming out of the White House?
I think that at the end of the day, the Obama policy is still finding itself and it's adapting itself. A good example is Afghanistan.